He's an asshole. He's and what he brings to my country, what he's awakened in my country, is bigotry and distrust. He tells something, and then you go back and you see what he said, and it seems like the truth both times. He's so terrific at lying. I've never seen anybody so good. I mean, it's.
Did Cher just say what we think she did? In a jaw-dropping moment that sent shockwaves across the internet, the legendary icon Cher took direct aim at President Donald Trump in an explosive on-air rant. And Trump? Well, let's just say his reaction was anything but subtle. An all-caps meltdown, furious social media posts, and a desperate attempt to clap back. But the damage was already done. The internet erupted. Memes, viral remixes, and late-night jokes flooded every corner of social media. Trump's response didn't just backfire. It turned him into the punchline of the very joke he was trying to fight. But what exactly did Cher say that sent Trump spiraling? And how did she manage to turn this feud into a defining cultural moment? Before we get started, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. Now let's get started. It all started with one moment. One fiery, unfiltered statement from Cher, a living legend, a pop culture icon, and a woman who has never been afraid to speak her mind. On live television, in front of millions, Cher let loose, tearing into Donald Trump with a force that only she could muster. It wasn't just a casual jab or a passing remark. It was a full-on verbal takedown of his leadership, his policies, and his hypocrisy. And as the words left her mouth, they ignited something far bigger than just a celebrity feud. The internet exploded. Clips of Cher's speech spread like wildfire. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, every platform was ablaze with reactions. People weren't just talking about what she said, they were celebrating it. Hashtags like #Cher exposes Trump and #Trump meltdown shot to the top of trending lists. But while the public reveled in the moment, Trump was seething. The world didn't have to wait long for Trump's response. He rushed to Truth Social, his go-to platform when he's feeling particularly defensive, and unleashed a series of angry all-caps rants. Cher is a has-been. She knows nothing about politics. SAD, she wanted to leave America, but she's still here. Hypocrite. Her music was never that good to begin with. The irony? In his attempt to discredit Cher, Trump only made her words more powerful. Instead of shutting down the conversation, he amplified it. People started dissecting his rants, fact-checking his claims, and of course, turning them into hilarious memes. Late-night hosts wasted no time roasting his reaction, and comedians across the internet had a field day. Trump versus Cher? That's like a reality TV villain trying to take on an actual queen, joked one popular YouTuber. And here's where things got even worse for Trump. Because while he was busy screaming into the void, Cher, she didn't even have to respond. The internet did it for her. Cher has always been outspoken, but this time her words cut deeper than ever. She didn't just call Trump out, she exposed the contradictions in his entire political identity. She reminded America of Trump's history of broken promises, his constant flip-flopping on policies, and his obsession with self-promotion over actual leadership. And, most notably, she highlighted how he used and discarded his own supporters the moment they were no longer useful to him. One of the most brutal moments? Cher compared Trump's presidency to a failing reality show, saying, "America under Trump felt like watching a show that should have been cancelled after season 1. But somehow, it kept getting renewed for chaos and disaster." Her remarks stung because they were not only funny, but painfully true. She mocked his stance on women's rights, his ever-changing opinions on LGBTQ issues, and his dangerous approach to immigration. And the audience, they ate it up. Millions of fans, activists, and even political commentators rallied behind her words. They praised her for saying what many had been thinking for years, but never had the platform to express so boldly. But while Cher's moment was making history, Trump was spiraling into damage control. Trump tried to fire back. He tried to discredit her. But in classic Trump fashion, he only made it worse. In a desperate attempt to undermine Cher's influence, Trump ranted about how her career was over, how she was just another Hollywood liberal, and how she had done nothing for America. The problem? None of it was true. Cher's legacy spoke for itself. In fact, in his effort to expose her, Trump accidentally listed all of her achievements. He ranted about how she had been around for decades, winning Grammys, Oscars, and influencing generations. He brought up her humanitarian efforts, even though he meant to use it as an insult. And instead of making people turn on Cher, it reminded them why they loved her in the first place. Trump made the biggest mistake a public figure can make in a feud. He turned himself into the punchline. This was no longer just about Cher versus Trump. This was a cultural moment. It was proof that Trump's usual tactics weren't working anymore. The era where he could intimidate celebrities, silence critics, and dominate the narrative was fading fast. Cher didn't just win this battle, she never even had to fight it. The public, the media, and even pop culture itself had already taken her side. And Trump, he was left ranting into the void, outplayed by a woman who has been a superstar longer than he's been in politics. And that's the story of how Cher took down Donald Trump, without even breaking a sweat. Behind the scenes, Cher's takedown of Trump was far more than just a viral moment. It was a strategic hit that landed exactly where it hurt the most. What the mainstream media failed to fully uncover was the depth of planning, the hidden truths behind Cher's words, and the ripple effect that followed in political circles. According to insider sources close to Democratic strategists, Cher's public roasting of Trump wasn't just an off-the-cuff rant, it was a calculated move. A well-connected Democratic insider, who wished to remain anonymous, revealed that several high-profile celebrities had been briefed on a new approach to counter Trump's influence. The goal? Use culture as a weapon. Instead of engaging in dry political debates, they would ridicule him, making his outbursts look more desperate and unhinged. This strategy wasn't new. It was something Trump himself had mastered in his rise to power. In 2016, he turned politics into a reality show, using humor, mockery, and the spectacle to dominate the news cycle. But now, the tables were turning. Cher, a pop culture icon with decades of influence, was the perfect candidate to execute this plan. Her words weren't just coming from a celebrity, they carried the weight of history. She had lived through political revolutions, fought for civil rights, and built a reputation as someone unafraid to call out injustice. And most importantly, she didn't fear Trump's retaliation. Leaked internal reports from the Trump campaign suggested that his team was caught completely off guard by the intensity of the backlash. According to an internal memo, they had expected Cher's comments to fade in a typical 24-hour news cycle. Instead, they found themselves drowning in negative press, unable to control the narrative. The more Trump tried to fight back, the more he played into the hands of his critics. One Trump campaign advisor speaking on condition of anonymity, admitted that the former president's team was divided on how to respond. Some urged him to ignore Cher completely, fearing that engaging in a feud with a beloved cultural figure would only harm him further. Others, including Trump himself, believed that attacking her was necessary to maintain his tough image. The mistake? Trump's response only amplified the controversy. Behind closed doors, Republican strategists scrambled to contain the fallout. Private emails obtained by a political watchdog group showed frantic discussions about how to redirect the media's focus. One email, allegedly sent by a senior GOP strategist, suggested that Trump's surrogates flood right-wing media with distractions, pushing conspiracy theories about voter fraud, Hunter Biden, and even trying to reignite old controversies about Hillary Clinton. But it wasn't working. The public was more interested in watching Trump spiral than paying attention to his usual talking points. Late-night hosts continued mocking him. Social media users flooded comment sections with memes, and political analysts began questioning whether his ability to control the news cycle was slipping. And then, another bombshell emerged. According to a leaked document from a conservative think tank, some top Republican donors had privately expressed concerns about Trump's electability moving forward. The memo, which was never meant to see the light of day, highlighted growing fears that Trump's endless feuds and unpredictability were becoming liabilities rather than assets. One section of the document specifically referenced the Cher controversy, calling it a case study in Trump's declining ability to navigate cultural battles. The document stated, in previous years, Donald Trump's ability to engage in cultural warfare energized his base and expanded his reach. However, recent events suggest that this strategy is losing effectiveness. His responses are increasingly met with ridicule rather than fear, signaling a shift in public perception. If this trend continues, it could significantly impact his ability to mobilize independent voters and suburban conservatives. For years, Trump had thrived on feuds, using them to rally his supporters and dominate headlines. But now the playbook wasn't working like it used to. The spectacle that once made him a political force was starting to backfire. And Cher? She didn't need to say another word. Her initial comments had done the damage, and the fallout was playing out exactly as planned. Behind closed doors, Democrats saw this as a major win. Political operatives quietly celebrated the fact that, for once, Trump was the one struggling to control the narrative, and even some Republicans, albeit privately, admitted that this moment exposed deeper vulnerabilities in his campaign strategy. One Republican insider was quoted saying, "It's one thing to lose a political fight, it's another thing to become a joke, and right now, Trump is the punchline." The power of cultural influence had once again proven to be one of the most effective weapons in modern politics. The question now wasn't just whether Trump could recover from this controversy, but whether this was a sign of things to come. Everything seemed like just another typical Trump feud, loud, chaotic, and viral. But then, something unexpected happened. What started as a war of words between Cher and Trump spiraled into something far bigger. It wasn't just about their feud anymore, it was about what it revealed. Something that even Trump's most loyal supporters never saw coming. At first, Trump did what he always did, rage posting on Truth Social, calling Cher washed up and a disgrace. He even tried to question her patriotism, mocking her previous statements about leaving the US if he won. But then, The meltdown escalated. Multiple sources inside Trump's camp confirmed that his inner circle was in crisis mode, not just because of the backlash from Cher's comments, but because of the growing realization that their entire strategy was crumbling. Then, out of nowhere, a leaked recording surfaced. A shocking audio clip, allegedly from a closed-door meeting at Mar-a-Lago, sent shockwaves through political circles. In it, a voice that strongly resembled Trump's could be heard venting to his advisors. The words were damning. "I don't get it. They're laughing at me. This wasn't supposed to happen. People are supposed to be scared. We controlled everything before. What the hell changed?" For the first time, Trump wasn't projecting strength. He was admitting weakness. He was realizing in real time that his grip over the media was slipping. The clip didn't just reveal frustration, it exposed fear. According to sources who had access to the recording, Trump's team was worried that his ability to control narratives was weakening, that the formula he had used for years, dominate the headlines, attack critics, and watch the base rally, wasn't working anymore. One of the most chilling moments in the leaked tape came when an advisor warned Trump, "Sir, the internet isn't afraid of you anymore. They're making fun of you." Silence followed. Those words cut deeper than any political attack ever could, because for Trump, being feared was everything. And now, he was becoming a joke. As the audio clip spread across social media, the internet exploded. People dissected every word, every pause. Some claimed this was the moment Trump finally realized he was losing his edge. Others argued it was proof that he was unraveling behind closed doors. But then, the biggest revelation of all, buried within the leaked recordings, was something far more sinister. A discussion about desperate measures. One voice, allegedly belonging to a senior Trump strategist, suggested that the only way to regain control was to manufacture a crisis. The exact words, "We need an enemy, someone bigger than Cher, a distraction that puts fear back in the headlines." This sent a chill down the spine of everyone who heard it. Because it wasn't just about Cher anymore. It was about a political machine willing to manipulate fear for power. Political analysts immediately began speculating. Who was Trump's team planning to target? What new controversy would they create to shift attention? And more importantly, how far were they willing to go? As the recording continued to circulate, one thing became clear. This wasn't just about a celebrity feud anymore. This was about Trump's entire political strategy being exposed in real time. And for the first time, the American public saw what was behind the curtain. The desperation, the manufactured outrage, the fear of losing control. For years, Trump's playbook had worked flawlessly. But now, the cracks were showing, and thanks to Cher's comments and the explosive revelations that followed, the world was finally seeing Trump not as an unstoppable force, but as a man terrified of losing his grip on power. Cher's viral takedown of Trump may have started as a fiery celebrity feud, but it ended up revealing something much bigger, a fundamental shift in American politics. This was more than just another war of words. It was a moment that exposed Trump's greatest fear, irrelevance. For years, Trump thrived on controversy. He mastered the art of turning every scandal, every insult, every attack into fuel for his political machine. His supporters saw him as untouchable, a leader who could bulldoze through criticism and always come out on top. But this time, something was different. This time, the internet wasn't afraid of him. Instead of sparking fear, Trump's angry response became a joke. The more he lashed out, the more people laughed. His usual tactics, name-calling, belittling, and playing the victim, fell flat. And for a man who built his political brand on dominance, that was the real humiliation. But beyond the memes and viral moments, there's a deeper story unfolding. This controversy revealed the cracks in Trump's once unstoppable movement. The leaked recordings which showed his frustration behind closed doors were a rare and unfiltered look at his mindset. For the first time, Americans saw Trump not as a political mastermind, but as a man struggling to keep control. His team's panic, their desperate plans to manufacture a new crisis, and their realization that they had lost control of the narrative, all of it points to a campaign in trouble. And that raises a bigger question. If Trump's old playbook isn't working anymore, what comes next? One possibility is that he doubles down on chaos. If his usual tactics of attacking celebrities and dominating the media don't work, he may escalate even further, pushing the boundaries of political theater in ways we've never seen before. But there's another possibility, one that his critics have been predicting for years. What if Trump's influence is finally starting to wane? The fact that a single celebrity could derail his focus, expose his vulnerabilities, and turn him into an internet punchline suggests that something has changed. Maybe the public has grown tired of the same old act. Maybe the fear that once kept his critics silent has faded. Or maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of the end of Trump's reign over American politics. If that's the case, this feud with Cher won't just be another viral moment. It will be remembered as a turning point. A moment when the public stopped taking him seriously, when his bluster no longer felt powerful, when his critics no longer hesitated to push back. Of course, Trump isn't one to go down without a fight. His ability to reinvent himself, to bounce back from scandals, to command attention in ways no other politician can, is something that even his harshest critics acknowledge. But this time, the rules of the game are changing. His opponents are bolder. His base is showing cracks. The internet that once feared him is now laughing at him. And if there's one thing Trump hates more than losing, it's being ignored. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this latest feud with Cher is a sign that Trump is losing his grip on the public? Or is this just another moment that he'll turn into political fuel? Has the internet finally figured out how to beat him at his own game? Or will he find a way to spin this controversy into another rallying cry for his supporters? Cher's words struck a nerve, not just with Trump, but with millions of Americans watching this play out. But the real question is, what does this moment actually mean for the future of American politics? Are we witnessing a cultural shift where celebrities and public figures feel empowered to openly challenge Trump without fear of backlash? Or is this just another viral moment that will fade away as the next controversy takes center stage? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Trump is losing his ability to control the narrative, or will he use this moment to come back even stronger? And what do you think about Cher's role in all of this? Was she just calling out hypocrisy? Or does this go even deeper? Your opinion matters. Let's get the conversation started. And if you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest stories shaping our world. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep questioning everything.